spinal artery. That means how many posterior spinal artery? It is 2 and 2 to 4. 4 spinal arteries. The collateral branches like this runs above downwards on the posterior lateral sulcus of the spinal cord either side of the dorsal nerve root, isn't it? So this is the position how the spinal cord is getting its blood supply. This is the schematic diagram to understand how this vertebral artery, it is giving branches, that is the anterior spinal artery as well as the posterior spinal artery. Anterior spinal artery is single in number. Look here on the ventral aspect of the medulla by joining the two arteries coming from the vertebral artery forming a single trunk in the median sulcus, that is the anterior spinal artery. Again a pair of artery which is arising from the vertebral, it is the posterior spinal artery. And again it is not satisfied. Again it is divided into two aspects, two collateral branches which runs parallel above downwards, and how these two branches of each posterior spinal artery will be arranged to either side of these dorsal nerve roots. Okay? So, now later we will discuss the other blood supply of the spinal cord also. Okay, first we will describe the other branches of this vertebral artery. The two are here, that is the anterior spinal artery and the posterior spinal artery. What else? What else? Tell me. What? Which artery?
Posterior inferior cerebral artery.
Very good. It is the largest branch. You have said the posterior, the name is very long. The posterior inferior cerebellar artery, isn't it? The name is very long and it has got a very unique name, pica. What is that? Pica. This artery is recognized by this name, pica. That means posterior inferior cerebellar artery, which is known as pica. Okay. So pica, as the name suggests, what? This pica, posterior inferior cerebellar artery. That means this is the ventral aspect of the brainstem, and the cerebellum it is on the dorsal side, which again attached to the three parts of the brainstem via the cerebellar peduncle, isn't it? Superior, the middle and the inferior cerebellar peduncles are there. Now I will draw a schematic diagram of the position of the cerebellum here. Okay. Look here. You people have told me the pica, that is the posterior inferior cerebellar artery. It is one of the branches of the vertebral artery. It is not one of the branches, rather it is the largest branch of the vertebral artery. Understand? It is the largest branch of the vertebral artery, that is the posterior inferior cerebellar artery. It arises from which part of the vertebral artery? Vertebral artery, where it is limitation? Up to the lower border of the pons. The story ends here of what? The vertebral artery. Then from here, this part just below the inferior border of the pons, a very important artery arises. That is what? Tell me. Anterior inferior cerebellar artery. This part of the cerebellum, it is posterior, and this is the anterior part. This is the posterior part of the cerebellum, isn't it? And here it is the superior part. Now you will be able to understand the meaning, nomenclature of these arteries related with the cerebellum. This is the anterior aspect of the cerebellum and this is the posterior aspect of the cerebellum. Of which surface? Inferior surface. Okay. Now this pica, it runs laterally, downwards and posteriorly. Okay. Pica, and supplies what? On this root, just below the olive. Here what is this? Olive. Olive is situated here. This is the olive. Just below the olive, on the lower border of the olive, this pica, it is going like this, turns backwards and supplies the inferior surface posteriorly. That is the posterior inferior cerebellar artery. That is the pica, like this, just below the lower border of the olive. And all of you know that there are some nerve rootlets which are present in between the pyramid and olive here, isn't it? Just below the olive you are getting this branch here going towards the inferior surface of the cerebellum to the posterior aspect of that. That's why the nomenclature is pica, postero-inferior, not antero-inferior, postero-inferior cerebellar branch of the vertebral artery, isn't it? Now, I will draw a sagittal section of one very important, this artery, it is crossing, as I have asked here, what are the nerves which are in close relation with these two structures, pyramid and olive here? 9. Yes. 12 is here, anteromedial sulcus. Yeah, anterolateral sulcus, there is the 9, there is the 10, and here it is the 11th cranial nerve. Crosses here, and this artery pica, it runs backwards. It runs backwards. And now you people tell me, it runs backwards, pica. This is which part? This is the medulla. This is the ventral aspect. These are stories of ventral aspect. Then look behind. Dorsal aspect of this medulla. What is that? Medulla you have must be read. There it has got two components, the closed part and the open part, isn't it? Upper part it has got open and lower one it is a closed component. So dorsal aspect of the upper part of the medulla, it forms what?
Part of the roof of, lower part of the roof of the ventricle.
Yes, very good. Lower part of the roof of the which ventricle? Fourth ventricle. Yes, yes, very good. Look here. Here it is the midbrain, here, okay, here it is the pons, and here it is like this, isn't it? Here it is the midbrain, this is the pons, this is the medulla oblongata, okay, medulla oblongata here, which is continued downwards. So this part, only this part of the medulla oblongata, it is open backwards. This is anterior aspect or the ventral aspect. This is the sagittal section and this is the dorsal aspect. Okay, and what is this? It is a diamond shape. You are seeing that from the sagittal section. It is a diamond shaped area like this on the posterior aspect of what? Anteriorly it is the pons and the upper part of the medulla oblongata, and posteriorly there are the superolateral and the inferolateral margins. Okay. So, I am not concerned with the fourth ventricle here. I have drawn this diagram. Why? When you will read in detail the blood supply of the cerebrum. Okay? When we will discuss in later, the blood supply of cerebrum. Okay? Then the two sets of arteries are there. Cortical branches, the central branches, and one nomenclature is also there. Choroidal branches. What is there? The choroidal branches. Now, that means choroidal branches means for what? Which structure? Choroid plexus. And choroid plexus is present where? In the ventricles. Whether it is the third ventricle, lateral ventricle or the fourth ventricle. Okay? So, this pica, it is very important. It is a very important branch of the vertebral artery which supplies the posterior-inferior surface of the cerebellum. Once it traverses, here it is the cerebellum, okay, this is the cerebellum, posterior aspect. This vertebral artery pica, it runs backwards, upwards along the posterolateral wall of the fourth ventricle or the posterolateral margin and comes inside the fourth ventricle to supply the choroid plexus here. Is that clear to you? This arising from the vertebral artery is again on the medulla oblongata. This is the vertebral artery here, and this just below the olive. This pica, it runs backwards, upward, and then along with the posterolateral boundary of the fourth ventricle. What it will do here? It will gives the blood supply to the choroid plexus of the fourth ventricle. Because in next coming topic that we will discuss, you will get the anterior choroidal artery, the posterior choroidal artery. Okay, but none of these two arteries, that is the anterior choroidal artery as well as the posterior choroidal artery, is taking the charge to supply the fourth ventricle. This fourth ventricle choroid plexus, it is supplied by the pica, that is the posterior inferior cerebellar artery, and after supplying this, it supplies the inferior surface of the cerebellum posteriorly. So what are the important aspects of this pica here? It crosses the nerve rootlets. One thing, it arises just below the olive from the vertebral artery. It also supplies the choroid plexus of the fourth ventricle here, as well as the name suggests, posterior-inferior cerebellar artery. That means antero-inferior cerebellar artery will be also present. But that ICA, you are saying it pica, that will be known as ICA, anterior-inferior cerebellar artery. But that is not the part, not the branch of the vertebral artery. Isn't it? Clear? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
If there is any confusion, you might ask here. Okay, so we have dealt here the three major branches. I am saying what? Three major branches here. The anterior spinal artery, the posterior spinal artery, the pica or the posterior inferior cerebellar artery, isn't it? Now, two other arteries. You people have told me there are 5 branches. Then tell me the 2 rest branches of the vertebral artery here. Yes, very good, very good. You people have read. Suppose vertebral artery, it is entering inside the cranial cavity by this foramen magnum. It should take the responsibility. It is present on this surface. Ventral aspect of the medulla. Then how the other artery will come and supply this medulla? So it should take the charge to supply the medulla also. So the medullary branches. So medullary branches will also arise from this vertebral artery. Okay, it will come towards the midline from the vertebral artery. And the meningeal branches. Once it is going inside the cranial cavity, it lies in which? Cranial fossa. What is this fossa? It lies in the posterior cranial fossa. The meninges thing, it has pierced. Vertebral artery, it has pierced the meninges, and then it has come in which space? Subarachnoid space. Okay. So the two layers, the meninges is also supplied by the meningeal branches of the vertebral artery, isn't it? So altogether, as you have said, there are 5 branches, okay, of what? Vertebral artery. Below upwards, from below upwards, it is what? And the meningeal branches, it will supply meningeal branches from the lateral side, medullary branches from the medial side, then comes the anterior spinal artery, then comes the posterior spinal artery, and the last, which is the largest one, that is the posterior inferior cerebellar artery. Isn't it? Yes or no? Tell me, is that clear to you?
Yes.
Clear to everyone? Now, before moving upwards, I must explain the other set of the arteries. That means the spinal cord blood supply should be completed before moving upwards. Of course, you have said this is the vertebrovascular system. Leave it. Up to the upper quarter it is the vertebral artery. Now, vertebral artery has given the branches. It has forgotten to give the branches nomenclature of spinal arteries inside the vertebral canal of what? Cervical region, isn't it? Then the blood supply of the whole of the length of the spinal cord. Can anyone tell me what is the length of the spinal cord? What is that?
18 inches, 45 centimeters.
Yes, very good. 18 inches, 45 centimeter. Length of the spinal cord. Very good. Length of the spinal cord. Can you imagine? The nomenclature of the arteries. The nomenclature. Clear? Clear? The nomenclature of the arteries related with the spinal cord, that is 3. A pair of posterior spinal artery, 1 pair posterior spinal artery, and 1 single anterior spinal artery, isn't it? 1 pair posterior spinal artery and another is only 1 single anterior spinal artery, like this. I have explained this. 1 posterior spinal artery pair also divides into 2, each artery divides into 2 collateral branches, runs downwards in between the posterior nerve roots like this, above downwards, okay, to the total length of the spinal cord. And where this artery lies? In the anterior median sulcus here of the spinal cord. But this spinal arteries which is arising from the vertebral artery, whether these arteries are sufficient, the blood running from those arteries are sufficient to supply the total length of the spinal cord above downwards. There should be a concept of that. The spinal cord, it is such a long structure, for you have said, you told me 45 centimeter long, okay? But these arteries are not sufficient to supply the total length of the spinal cord. Then what is the other arteries which will come and reinforce this artery, and thus the spinal cord will get its blood supply totally. Anyone?
Segmental artery.
Yes, very good. If you can say that this anterior and the posterior spinal artery is only giving almost the blood supply to the spinal cord, to the upper 1/3 part of the spinal cord. Then what about the rest one? Coming from the spinal branches. What is the nomenclature here? Spinal branches of the segmental arteries. Isn't it? Spinal branches of the segmental arteries. Then we have to draw the diagram here. We will leave this diagram for a while. Okay. Here. I have to rub it. So, what is this? And this is what? The dorsal nerve root. Here it is the ventral nerve root. Okay? The dorsal nerve root. Just like that. And this is the central canal. This is the transverse section of the spinal cord. Okay? This is the transverse section of the spinal cord either side. Then what was the position of the spinal artery itself here? In the anterior median fissure, it was the anterior spinal artery. Okay? And the posterior spinal artery either side of the dorsal nerve roots. Okay, here. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One pair of segmental branches or the spinal branches of the arteries are coming to reinforce the branches or the supply of the anterior spinal artery as well as the posterior spinal artery. That means what are those arteries which will come and reinforce these vessels, whether anterior spinal artery and the posterior spinal artery, just like in the, have you done the dissection of the extensor compartment of the arm, for forearm here, lower 1/4. What was the story? The artery which was supplying the posterior compartment of the arm, it is not sufficient here in the posterior lower 1/4. Then the anterior interosseous will take the charge. It pierces the interosseous membrane just above the pronator quadratus, and in the lower 1/4 on the extensor surface it was supplied by that, isn't it? Because the artery was not sufficient, posterior interosseous artery, to supply the lower 1/4. The same story is here. What are the segmental arteries? From which region these segmental arteries are coming? Segmental arteries. And these segmental arteries will give what? Spinal branches. Spinal branches to the spinal cord. Isn't it? It is in the cervical, what artery? Which is giving the charge, which is taking the charge to supply additionally to the spinal cord. Tell me, in the cervical, what arteries are those?
Deep cervical.
Yes, very good. Deep cervical. These are the questions might ask in the examination or the PG, UPG, Viva. It is very important, these branches. So, deep cervical, okay, ascending cervical, in the cervical region. Then once you come down, just below the cervical there is the thoracic region. Okay. In the thoracic region there are what? Which arteries are there? Intercostal arteries. Intercostal arteries. Intercostal arteries. In the which region? In the thoracic region.
Thoracic region.
Okay. In the thoracic region, the intercostal arteries are taking the charge to supply the spinal branches. Okay. Now, in the just below the thoracic level, it is the lumbar artery. In the lumbar region. Lumbar artery, from where it arises? Lumbar artery, branch of? Lumbar artery, it is a branch of. Tell me. Don't tell me that you don't know. I am simply asking, the lumbar artery arises from which artery?
Lateral branch of abdominal aorta.
Yes, abdominal aorta. Very good. Abdominal aorta. You people are doing the dissection online of the abdominal region, isn't it? So you must know from where these lumbar arteries are coming. Direct branch of the abdominal aorta. Okay. So I was just explaining the segmental arteries. These segmental arteries that from different regions, they provide the spinal branches. That means spinal branches to reinforce the blood vessels of the spinal cord. Then what is the pattern? And these segmental spinal branches of the segmental arteries will anastomose with the branches of the posterior and the anterior spinal arteries as well. Isn't it? So, look here. Once this artery or the spinal branch enters, through which part it will go towards the spinal cord? Which structure? It needs a foramen because the spinal cord, it is situated here inside the vertebral canal. So, what is the point of entrance of these spinal branches here? Intervertebral foramen, isn't it? Through intervertebral foramen, these arteries go inside towards the spinal cord. And look here, when one is inside the intervertebral foramen, it will bifurcate into two branches here. Two branches here. Okay, two branches. Anterior as well as the posterior. What? Radicular arteries. What are these branches known as? Entering into the corresponding ventral nerve root and the dorsal nerve root. Isn't it? So, anterior radicular artery it is. This is the anterior radicular artery and this is the posterior radicular artery. Okay. Now, what is the blood supply of this spinal cord now? Just look here. This is the anterior spinal artery running here, and one thing you keep in mind, this anterior spinal artery, it is supplying how much area of the spinal cord? Posterior to anterior. This is the anterior aspect, this is the posterior aspect. Is got the ventral or the dorsal? Anyone? This is anterior spinal artery and this is the pair of the posterior spinal artery along with the collateral branches here. Okay. Now, this anterior spinal artery, the central branches, what is the word nomenclature? Central branches, because the central branches means CNS, central nervous system. Spinal cord is the part of the central nervous system itself. So, the central branches, it will go inside, it will supply which area? What is this? These are the grey horn. Grey matter here. This is the posterior grey horn, this is the anterior grey horn, isn't it? It will supply anterior horn, it will supply around the central canal as well as the base of the posterior grey horn. That means anterior spinal artery, it is supplying branches ramifying over here, supplying the anterior funiculus as well as the lateral funiculus also here. Isn't it? And till the base of the posterior grey horn. This is the limit. That means up to this level, the part it is supplied by the central branches of the anterior spinal artery. Posterior spinal artery supplies, what is this? Here it is the fasciculus gracilis, here it is the fasciculus cuneatus. So this part, the branches from the posterior spinal artery, they will supply the posterior white matter here, the posterior grey horn here, just above the base of that. Isn't it? Here, as well as the that. So this is the, that means, if you will draw a line here like this becomes the anterior 2/3 and this becomes the only posterior 1/3. Isn't it? This whole part which is supplied by the anterior spinal artery, isn't it? Here in the anterior grey horn, what are there? Motor neurons are there. Here anterior compartment, what are there? Here lateral funiculus, what are there? Here the corticospinal tract is coming out, isn't it? From this white column, here lateral column, what is this? Spinothalamic tract. Because I will correlate all these structures clinically also, depending upon its blood supply. So you must remember the lateral compartment, through this funiculus, the spinothalamic tract runs. Isn't it? Yes or no? Tell me. This corticospinal, here is the motor neurons sitting over here. So the area of the blood supply via the branches of the anterior spinal artery are the anterior grey horn, this around the central canal, plus the base of the posterior grey horn, the anterior funiculus, the lateral funiculus. Now these branches also anastomose here with the branches of what? Anterior radicular artery along the ventral root. Isn't it? When the spinal branch enters here, it anastomoses here along with the anterior spinal artery as well as with the posterior spinal artery also. So this whole diagram is explaining the anastomosis around the spinal cord, isn't it? So how many arteries are running? There are one pair of the posterior spinal artery which becomes 4 in number here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is 5. Here it is 6. Go both the sides. From here it is the 7th one. Okay. So many arteries are coming to reinforce the blood supply of the spinal cord. Now, anterior radicular artery. What is the number of this anterior radicular artery? Anyone? Anterior radicular artery 2 to 17 in number. 10 to 26 is the number of posterior radicular artery. Posterior radicular artery. 2 to 17 is the number of anterior radicular artery, isn't it? What is the beauty of this anterior radicular artery? What does it do? It sends some branches upwards, some branches downwards. Okay, this anterior radicular artery, it also sends some branches upwards and downwards to anastomose with this anterior spinal artery. Okay, and one of the major anterior radicular artery, it is the largest one, mind it. What I am saying? One of the anterior radicular artery, it is the largest one, which is known as arteria radicularis magna. What it is known as? Arteria radicularis magna. And what is the another name of this? Artery of Adam-Queis. Artery of, look the spelling. I will write the whole name. Adamqueis. This is the name. Artery of Adam-Queis, isn't it? So what is this? Artery of Adam-Queis. It is one of the anterior radicular artery, isn't it? Which is the largest one and taking the charge, reinforcement, the main reinforcement blood supply of the spinal cord that will supply the lower level of the spinal cord, because it ascends upwards, it descends downwards.